If folks want to, you want to take, you're okay, you want to sit? As with many spiritual paths in Buddhism, intention is the engine of our activity. And we begin our what we do with reciting 3 times a prayer that's called the 7-line prayer, which was given to us in the 8th century. And so we're connecting today with that so many years of prayerful intention and practice for the benefit of all sentient beings. So those who know this prayer will chant with me, and then I'll also do a short reading to help set the stage from the Shantideva's Bodhisattva Way of Life. But we'll begin with a prayer. So this is from Shantideva's Bodhisattva Way of Life, and it's the sum of the chapter. I won't read the whole thing, on adopting the awakening mind. I rejoice with delight at the good done by all beings, which abates the suffering of hell. I need some water, actually. May those who are suffering abide in happiness. I rejoice at the deliverance of embodied beings from the suffering of cyclic existence. I rejoice at the bodhisattvas and the Buddha nature of the saviors. I also rejoice at the resolution of the teachers, which are oceans of bearing witness to and happiness to every being, bestowing well-being on all creatures. Holding my hands together in reverence, I beseech the perfect Buddhas in every direction. Set up the light of the Dharma for those falling into suffering in the darkness of delusion. Holding my hands together in reverence, I implore the conquerors who wish to leave cyclic existence, remain for endless aeons. Do not let the world become blind. With the good acquired, thank you. Excuse me. With the good acquired by doing all this as described, may I allay all the suffering of every living being. I am medicine for the sick. May I be both doctor and their nurse until the sickness does not reoccur. May I avert the pain of hunger and thirst with showers of food and drink. May I become both drink and food in the intermediate aeons of famine. May I be an inexhaustible treasure for the impoverished beings. May I wait upon them with various forms of offering. May I be a light for those who in need of light. May I be a bed for those in need of rest. May I be a servant for those in need of service, for all embodied beings. For embodied beings, may I be the wish-fulfilling jewel, the pot of plenty, the spell that always works, the potent healing herb, the magical tree that grants every wish, and the milch cow that supplies all wants. Just as earth and other elements are profitable in many ways to the immeasurable beings dwelling throughout space, so may I be sustenance of many kinds for the realm of beings throughout space until all have attained release.
Thank you, Gompa. So again, welcome everybody. Thank you very much for coming out in today's weather. I don't know if I introduced myself. My name is Claire Wagoner, and I'm the president of Kunzon Palyacholi. Just to start, so that you know where you are and what Kunzon Palyacholi actually is, I wanted to give you a little bit of history of this temple, and then we can go on and talk about why we're here today. Kunzon Palyacholi is the longest operating Tibetan Buddhist temple in Montgomery County, and it was opened in 1985 under the guidance of Jetsama Akanurmu Lama Rinpoche. Its mission was very simple. It was to work towards ending suffering in all of its forms. So in the past 29 years in this location, working towards doing exactly that, we have been feeding the hungry. We've provided tens of thousands of sandwiches to the hungry. We have a prison outreach program that's been going on for about 20 years. We have done a lot of animal rescue. We started doing dog rescue when Katrina happened. We actually went down to Katrina and rescued a number of dogs and continued that. On this property, we have a parrot rescue. It's a little bit exotic, but parrots live to be extraordinarily old, 80 to 100 years in some occasions, frequently outlive their owners. And so we have a rescue here that offers lifelong sanctuary to many, and an educational outreach program to help people deal better with their companion parrots. We also, it's a traditional Tibetan Buddhist thing, we do a lot of live releases of animals on particular holidays, of beings, not animals necessarily. We're very careful to make sure that we, release an animal that is natural to that particular environment, like fish back into the water or worms, earthworms, for example. We have a wildlife refuge across the street that is 65 acres. We maintain it and offer it to the community. It has hiking trails and some very sacred Buddhist monuments called stupas that continue to be the enlightened mind of the Buddha. All those hiking trails and that area is offered freely to the community. A lot of people like to come and bring their families and bird watch. But one of the most profound things that we've been offering nonstop, and for the last 25 years in this room, has been a 24-hour prayer vigil. So there has always been, for 29 years, 7 days a week, 24 hours a day, someone in this room praying for the end of suffering. This room has remained open to the public, again, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, for anyone to come who needs comfort or sanctuary at any time that they feel that they're in need. When you take all of those years and all of those prayers, it really mounts up, that kind of an effort. Hundreds of thousands of people have sent their prayers in, have sent their prayers in, and we have read each and every one of those prayers out loud in this room and done tens of thousands of practices to benefit those people's requests here in this room. So that's what has been happening here for 29 years. Now, what brings us here today is in the fall of October of 2012, where's David Bagnoli? There you are. Okay. In the fall of 2012, we hired David Bagnoli from Bagnoli Associates as an architect to begin to help us work towards bringing some things that were out of line with the county. And as he got to work and began to flesh things out, it became apparent that there were things that we really needed to change. And on March 1st, with a meeting with Department of Permitting Services, we realized just how out of line some of the zoning and permitting requirements were, and this facility was closed completely to public assembly. David just told me today, and I didn't know this, March 1st, when he was there, he said was the darkest day of his career, his professional career. It was a tremendous blow that we felt here, and it was just impossible to actually grok. But at the very same time, Casey was in the room when this all happened, but at the very same time, in that moment, everybody came together after the initial closure and put their heads together to figure out what kind of partnerships we could put into place and what kind of transformation was possible. So immediately, with Department of Permitting Services and David Bagnoli and Reverend Casey Caseman, that meeting turned around from something very dark and very negative and immediately put us on the road to what we're celebrating today, which was partnerships, change, transformation, and possibilities. Which leads me to introducing our honored guest today, Ike Leggett, because he, Reverend Casey Caseman would not be in the position that he's in as the interfaith liaison in Montgomery County if it were not for the vision of Ike Leggett himself. It was he who saw the need to create such a position so that when an interfaith community, or faith community such as ours, ran into trouble, we had somewhere to go and a structure to work with in order to solve the problem. I grew up in an impoverished southern background. I mean, you probably all know very much about him. He's so well known in the county. He served in Vietnam. He developed these incredible leadership qualities. He has worked, as far as I can figure out, most of his adult life to be a uniter and working towards the benefit of others. We had the privilege of meeting him at the first friendship picnic in Montgomery County, and we asked him if he would come out and visit us here once we got things together a little bit, and here he is today to fulfill that promise. So I'd like
Thank you. When I was driving up, I was thinking, boy, this is a gloomy day. Then I said, oh, it could have been snowing. I've often said in the last month or two that I used to love seeing all the beautiful snow, the white flakes falling out of the sky. Nowadays, I simply see dollar signs that lift. I'm here today because I think that it is an appropriate gesture, not just a gesture, but a solidarity with you and what you're doing and how you are making a difference in our community and literally all over the world. We are fortunate in Montgomery County to have a county that embraces, enhances, and really works to ensure that all facets of our community comes together. And that means coming together across racial, ethnic, social, political, economic, cultural, language, and religious lines. But it's not something that you can look at from the cheap seats far away at a sporting event. But you actually must be actively engaged, involved. And so I took it upon myself as the county executive years ago that I wanted to be involved, that I wanted to make certain that we not only talk the talk, but we actually walk the walk, and we did the things that we promised to do to bring Montgomery County together, to build a community of faith across many different spectrums in this county. I've recognized that that is not always easy because there are many hurdles and challenges when you're trying to enhance and to build and to grow in our county. And there are oftentimes conflicts of good things. It is not to say that one who wants to build or expand runs against an opposition and the opposition is bad, because that would be an easy proposition, something you could easily reject and avoid because it is bad in order to do something that's good. The challenge for us is that oftentimes the challenges we have are both good. That is land preservation, open space, versus housing, versus the environment, versus an awful lot of things, versus a religious institution that may want to expand, versus the concerns of the neighbors and what have you. And we have to sort that out. This is why I have the office that Casey now has is so important, because it allows us to, in effect, build and grow together and to work through those things in a level of cooperation. The message and the challenge that is presented here, that is to end suffering of all sorts, that's a universal message. If you go back to the Sermon on the Mount, and look at what was talked about there. How do we provide and eliminate suffering? How do we do what is best for the least of these in our society? And that's a message that everybody should embrace, because I think we find more commonality in our religion as opposed to differences. And we are here to make certain that those differences are minimum, and the commonality and things that we can do together, we're able to do them together, and we can do it in a spirit of love. Open hearts, open doors. Unfortunately, there are many doors of suffering, whether it's housing, whether or not it's health care, whether or not it's challenges that people have each and every day. We're a fortunate community in Montgomery County comparatively, because in many ways we have over 1 million people, and our budgets and our largesse is much better than many other communities. But even in Montgomery County, we have an awful lot of suffering, and we can do much, much better to eliminate and to reduce that suffering. So I want to congratulate you on this phase. Thank you for what you've done in the community thus far, and recognize of what you may do for years and years to come. This is a long history in Montgomery County, but that history is built upon your faith, it is built upon the leadership, and it is built upon your steadfast commitment to move forward. I've seen an awful lot of institutions in this county run up against the challenges that you face and simply wither away and say it is too burdensome, it's too difficult, it's too challenging, and we're not going to proceed any further. But you, through your faith and through your commitment and through your leadership, have been able to work with the county to overcome those obstacles. Now is the opportunity for us to build on that and to do great things for our community. And I simply wanted you to know that I'm a partner in that, and we hope to work with you across all religions, all sectors, to ensure that you are successful. Congratulations.
Thank you. I feel inspired. So, the other gentleman that was referred to was Reverend Casey Caseman, and he's going to stand up and say a few words. As I said before, we met him on, well, if this hadn't happened, we wouldn't know Casey and all the wonderful things that have come from that. So,
thank you, Fred. When I left the house this morning, I wasn't thinking of snow. I wasn't even thinking of rain. I'd been so looking forward to this day that I was sure it was only going to get warmer and brighter. I didn't wear a jacket. I was prepared to tell you, you know, with all the beautiful sunshine and all the blossoms in the air, that this was due to the prayers of the Christians. So, I can't do that now. Yes, my introduction to this temple came with a dark occasion. I identify with what David Bragnoli, the architect, was saying. But even in that context, the principal introduction came with Tao. Where is Tao? Please, look at Tao. Raise your hand again. There's always this magnificent smile on her face. And this meeting, however, as we were being told by one after another, with all the requirements that had to be met, leading to being told that everything was being shut down, completely. There were some tears. And there weren't tears of, self-loathing or, sympathy. tears because of what wasn't going to be able to happen here in terms of keeping the doors open with the hearts, with the meditation, with the love, with your own pantry. At that time, didn't know about manna and other things that were happening, but you were doing it out of compassion yourselves. There are all these things together with the Tibetan Lama coming within a few more weeks. So it felt providential for me to be able to check to make sure we had a few more minutes in that room. And so when everyone else had left, we closed the doors, and the three of us spent some time together. And I had listened well enough to get a sense of where we might be able to turn. So even before we left that day, we knew that there was some hope that did lead to being able to come and for me to be able to present a proclamation on behalf of our county executive. I soon then met your president, Claire Wagner. And today, by the way, she serves on our executive committee. She co-chairs the latest of three of our working groups, quite appropriately for this community, the Neighbors in Need Working Group, concerned with everything from the integration of immigrants to poverty, to fair housing, to health care, the reduction of hunger. In fact, she's coordinating the committee on the reduction of hunger that's going to be meeting in a couple of weeks with Keith Heller coming in with his plans for that. I can't remember the exact context, but I think it happened more or less at the same time I met Dong Ho Yesi. We've really, I just feel at home here. We've become more than colleagues. There's a friendship. Jumping ahead, Dong Ho's on our clergy response committee. He was there at the first call. A Jewish family had a menorah stolen and desecrated. And so here in response, this was close to Christmas time, ironically, the menorah was stolen on Christmas Eve. Talk about an interfaith kind of scenario in all of this. But in response to that, here comes Gongpo together with Imam Muhammad, and we had priests and a grand kind of interfaith group that met in their family room. And at the end of that time, they asked if it wouldn't be possible for us to come back for an interfaith ceremony when they put out a new and even larger menorah at the next Hanukkah. Okay? So I don't know where else, but Montgomery County, thanks to our county executive and the things that we're about here, we're going to have an interfaith kind of service to be opening that holy season for this family, who, thanks to the work that you and we together have been able to do. Ani Palmo is also a part of that same committee, and one of my emails this morning was saying yes to the next meetings coming up. There's so much more that's being done. Sufficient to just wrap it up and say that thanks to your enduring spirit, we still have ways to go, but look at what we have here today. And I know that Montgomery County is already better because you're here and because of the way you've responded to this, what felt like a tragedy just about a year ago. I should add, following that experience, I arranged with the help of the regional directors a series of meetings to talk with other faith communities about the importance of understanding and knowing how to work with the departments of planning and permitting services. And at every one of those meetings, who were the star performers? Who were the two people with the best information and who were most persuasive in making the point that needed to be made? Dawa and Claire. saying. We live in Montgomery County. That means we need to be abiding by regulations that are there for our own safety, for our own health, for our own protection. And the sooner you understand how that works, the better. Yes, there is more work that needs to be done, and we do have another working group working on that. We think that there's some policy changes that could be made within, it takes time, maybe a year or two, that will be a great help to us. But the other side of it all is we have a lot to learn in terms of faith communities. So again, I compliment you that rather than becoming defensive or, and there's never been anger. I mean, many communities would have been angry about what happened. But that has not been the case with you. So you've been a wonderful example for how I'd want every faith community to respond in a situation like this. And thanks to that there has been healing. And when all of this is over and the next time we return, I trust it'll be by way of celebrating, ribbon cutting and a bigger celebration here. It's going to be for the better of you and for the entire county. Finally, let me, here's Kathy. Kathy Matthews is more than my partner. We share a suite together up at the Up County Regional Center. Stand up, Kathy, because please. I've been up county now for about 7 years, so I kind of know, I'm learning a little bit more about, it's a little different culture up here than in the southern part of the county. Kathy's lived here all of her life, and she has been serving this county in so many different ways. And I wouldn't have been able to have done what I've done without the council and support and encouragement of Kathy. She too is an appointee of our county executive, another part of the way we work together. And I see our good friend Rabbi David Schneider here. He is co-chair with Claire. But others of you who are on our executive committee, please at least raise your hands. That's all part of the team. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Casey. So, here we are in this prayer room celebrating today, and literally when we're finished, everybody should stand up and take a bow, because each person in this room has contributed to so much that has gone on to get this prayer room open to the public. We do have 90% of our work ahead of us, but we've come so far with so much support. And I can't possibly mention everyone's name, but I do want to say that the Montgomery County Council members have been astonishing in making themselves available to us. They have either come out here and walked around the property and through the buildings and asked a lot of questions and allowed us to ask them questions, or we've been able to go to their office. Roger Berliner, Nancy Florine, and George Leventhal have been astonishingly supportive. Then we have the Department of Permitting Services and Parks and Planning that we have really, like on that day that was so dark, really have tried and come a long way with us in helping us to work with them to solve these issues. And then we have somebody who is here today, I believe, from the Poolsville Chamber of Commerce. We have the Montgomery County Alliance. We have so much support from the Nepalese, Vietnamese, Mongolian, Burmese, on and on and on and on. We have donors and supporters that love us and support us and encourage us every day. And we have the added benefit of receiving donations from all those fabulous restaurants. They have donated so much food, sometimes for events that have fed literally hundreds of people. So please, 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 from the bottom of our hearts, accept our gratitude and thanks. And truly, with open hearts, we can get the doors open and address, as you mentioned, all the doors to suffering. So did I miss anything? I think that is the conclusion so that we can keep things on time. If everyone would gather for a photograph in front of the altar. Oh, Gopal's going to do the dedication.
Okay.
Sorry. Keep me on track.
That's okay. So there's a short prayer on your program. We'll read this together, if you'd like. By this effort, sentient beings be free of suffering. May their minds be filled with the nectar of virtue. In this way, may all causes resulting in suffering be extinguished, and only the light of compassion shine throughout all realms.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you. If everyone would just shut the chairs out of the way and gather up there for our photo op.
Great, thank you.
I stopped.
You're so good at rallying people.
Okay, right over here.
Put on your smoking. Jamie?
Wonderful idea. Wait, one second. All right. Oh, okay, good. All right. All right.
Okay, you can sit right there.
Oh, all right. Oh, good.
Claire. Okay. Okay, are we ready?
Folks over there are probably not going to be in focus. Sorry. I've got a big lens, but not that.
Can you back up a little bit?
Okay, ready? Thank you.
Thank you, Rita.
Hey, Ted, everybody. Casey's wondering if you could go farther back and try to get everyone.
Oh, I have everybody.
You got it?
And if I go too far back, you won't be able to tell who anybody is. Yeah, I knew somebody was going to say that. Running from the law, John?
All right, we done?
Yeah. Thank you.
Tell us you can go. The other time.